Well, thank you for coming on my show. So, if you mind me asking, what attracted you to begin your acting career?
Well, I had always wanted to act all my life, but I didn't have, I don't know, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the support at home. So I kind of filed that away. It just put it away. And then when I was 46, because I'm going to be honest, I was 46, I got a life-altering, or found out some life-altering news that I didn't know. And that was from my mother, that my father that had raised me wasn't my biological father. So that was, it was shocking, but it also made a lot of sense because when I found out more about my biological father, he was an artist. He also was an actor. And I wondered where all that, the creative side came from, because I wasn't really like my family members. So I sat with that for a little bit, and then my husband just said, "What are you waiting for?" I was a jewelry designer at that point for 20 plus years. And he just said, just do it. Just do it. Well, you know, what have you got to lose? So I did. And this is my 7th year, believe it or not. And it's been a dream. And oh my God.
That is an amazing story. That's amazing story background. It really is. So, have you found your real father?
Yeah,
is he still around, or?
I did. Oh no,
if you mind
I don't
talking
mind,
about
because
it, it's really okay.
It opened a whole new life for me, to follow my dream and really do what I think I was destined to do. I did discover him, and blessings, I had 10 wonderful years to get to know him and my half siblings. Sadly, he passed away from cancer 2 years ago. And that leads into a wonderful story I'll share with you about my one of my Netflix bookings. It's an incredible story. So I am blessed to have had 10 years with him. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's like a story that, it's like a movie, right?
I'm writing. Trust me. I am writing.
You think you've been, the story you talk about is like a movie that you see on Netflix or on Hallmark or all that. And that's just amazing.
I felt like I found where I belong. And even though I love my family and my dad, heavens, he's still my dad. But it was really nice to kind of, when you find out something like that, it's almost like the film strips of your life go through your mind, and you start to think, oh, that's okay. And then things start to make sense for you. So, yeah.
Amazing. It's amazing. So what do you like about acting so far?
I like creating characters. I'm a very nurturing person. It's kind of a gentle soul, I would say, friendly and happy. But I always seem to get booked on the darker roles. I get to be total opposite of what I am. For some reason, and I don't know why, I seem to be cast as like the miserable boss or the racist. Believe that, or that was very strange. My first booking was that I was a kind of a racist townswoman, which, in knowing my background and knowing my husband, that really doesn't fly. It's kind of weird, but so I think that's probably my favorite thing. I think is that I can be opposite to who I am and just play.
So I'm sorry. That's so. I don't see you. I mean, you look like a person that plays Happy Row. Isn't that like a Dark
You know.
Prince?
Go figure.
It's very interesting. You know, you're not the only one. You have people they talk about. They've been on roles and they're like, "Whoa, I never thought I played this role," or "I never thought I played a bad police
That's
officer,"
like
or
my
stuff like that.
wheelhouse. All of those things are
So,
my wheelhouse.
mm-hmm.
I'm hoping one day to book the Hallmark. You know, if anyone's listening, I
You
would be a
never
fabulous
know.
mother, grandmother, cheese shop owner, barista owner, you know, coffee shop, bake shop, whatever it is. I would love to do that. Um, I'll, I'll wait.
Mm-hmm. Never know. I'm serious. Never know. How many films and TV shows have you performed up to now, and what
Okay.
upcoming projects do you have?
I started off, I called myself the short film maven because I worked, when I first started, I worked on a lot of short films. Started off with student films, which I adored because, you know, just being able to be a part of, to be on set, but then also to, you never know who's up and coming. And it's just, you know, it's so nice to be supportive, and everybody's always so supportive. And I did short films for quite a while. And then I booked my
Mm-hmm.
first TV show part, the townswoman, nasty townswoman. That was Sacred Lies.
Amazing,
That
by
was a
the
really
way.
fun with Julia Lewis. That was a really fun one. And then last year I had two Netflix shows that premiered, and that was Lost Dolly, the first one, and then Devil in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of where I'm at now. This last
And what is
oh
Devil in Ohio about?
okay.
And what is Lost Dolly
I'll
about?
start with Lost Ollie. Lost Ollie is basically a movie. It was adapted by the book by William Joyce, and showrunner Shannon
Mm-hmm.
Tyndall and the amazing director Peter Ramsey. Oh my gosh, he put together this show. It was just a short episodic, 4 episodes in it. The cast was like to die for. It was Gina Rodriguez, Kessler Talbert was Little Billy, Jake Johnson, Jonathan Groff was the voice of Ollie. I have a little example of an Ollie, a little Ollie. And
Oh.
Mary J. Blige was also one of the voices of the
Mm-hmm.
puppets. And it's just a story about loss and love and family. It was incredible, and the experience that I had, I literally was on set a week after my biological father, had passed away, and my scene, I was the MRI tech in the scene with Gina Rodriguez and Kessler, and
Mm-hmm.
he was afraid his mom was going to have a MRI, and I had the most magical moment because it was hard. I didn't know if I'd be able to do this because I just was so
Right.
devastated. But I got to set, it was just us. And there was a moment, I think, that Gina looked at me. We were just sort of blocking. And she said, I see something. I see something in your eyes. What's going on? And I kind of just told her, and she was just like so touched. And she said, "You know what? What's your biological dad's name?" And I said, "It's Ed." And she just goes, "He's right here. He's right here. Let's do this." And Peter Ramsey had come around the corner, and he's like, "Okay, well, are we okay? We're good. Let's just go." And I tell you, we just went right into it. And my gosh, when I see back that scene, I can feel it. I see it in my eyes. It was just the most beautiful experience. And I have to, you know, I thanked her, and I will thank her for the rest of my days, to have that moment. And I really felt, that's what I felt that was true. That was authentic.
Um, that is so
Wow.
touching and
Thank you.
amazing story. Thank you for sharing. You're very welcome. And I get, I'm so sorry that your father passed away, and cancer, to be honest, it does suck. And, and anybody that's going through it's just, um, you know, I mean, I don't 100% understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't 100% understand, but I totally understand. It's not, it's
Hmm.
just so sad and devastating. It really is. Um, what is your greatest strength as an
My greatest
actress so
strength.
far?
Ooh, that's a great question. Uh, my greatest strength, I think, and maybe it in the past it had always been you're too sensitive. You feel too much. I think being able to just really drop down and really and feel. I think that's been my greatest strength. Like I think I really every role from the not so happy people to the kind. I just I just feel like I can drop down into it and I can find the humanity in almost every character, which is hard to do when they're not very nice.
That's a good description. I'll be honest. That's amazing. Um, what's the most challenging role you ever taken so far to this day?
Oh, I'd say the most challenging was the Lost Ollie role because the specifics
Mm-hmm.
for casting me, they were looking. It was open ethnicity, open gender, but you had to have a Kentucky accent. And I have been blessed to be married to my husband for 31 years. And I was inspired
Okay.
because I was embraced into his family. They're from the South, and his mom and his dad. I got I love accents, and I just having been part of their lives, accents come easy for me. And I just
Right.
when I read the sides, the script, I just thought, oh, okay, I know who this woman is. And I channeled my mother-in-law. That's what I did. And I did it. And what's
And you
so
did it.
fascinating is the showrunner, Shannon Tyndall, who's like magical. He's from Kentucky. And this was almost like a love letter to his home state. And it really,
Mm-hmm.
when it had aired, came out, um, they were going through a really tough time down there. They had the tornadoes and everything, and so the
And
floods,
the
and
floods,
so
right? Mm-hmm.
to have the seal of approval from him, and I just yeah, that was pretty cool. That was that I guess I should say it was challenging because you had to have the accent, but it also was
Right.
a dream as well too. And it happened.
It's right. And was
Yeah,
so he made the
yeah,
film for
yeah.
Kentucky.
It was adapted from an actual book from William Joyce. Beautiful story. And he had it was set in Kentucky. I mean, we filmed up in Vancouver for most of the scenes, the hospital scenes, some of the other ones, but they went back to Kentucky and they filmed the rest of it down there. So no,
Wow. And did you
I
go
would have
as
loved to,
well, or
but
did no?
no. I stayed up here.
That's amazing. Okay, so the half of the film was in Vancouver and also filmed
And in
in California. Am I
Kentucky.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
In Kentucky. Wow.
Oh,
Do you know
there's a
where in
special, there's like a
Kentucky?
forest that they filmed some parts in. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but yeah. And I think it's around where he grew up. So
Wow, okay, that's amazing. Um, now, what role, or if any, deeply affected you in a permanent manner?
um
Perhaps changed you in a permanent manner, I
I
mean.
would say the lost again, the Lost Ollie did affect me. Um
Mhm.
in a way, and I said this both to Peter, the director, and to Shannon, that it really, it healed my heart. Like I was still struggling with that, but it was just such a beautiful film. And when you see it, it's difficult in parts. They deal with some pretty dark things, you know, death and family and searching for love and trying to get back to who you love. And that that was pretty profound. But yeah, I would say that probably would be the biggest one. I don't want to like say, but
And you said and you said
last
that came out in
it was actually
2019, or
filmed
was
in
that last year?
2021, and it
Okay.
premiered August 4th.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I just knew it was
Yeah, yeah, and it
August the
had been. I
4th
mean,
or something,
they
right?
were in post production for a while because, of course, with all the animation and you know, footage with the puppets
The
and all that. I
pandemic.
mean, it's so seamless. Like a lot of the people, they carried on. Some of the people ended up going to work on the new Pinocchio movie. A lot of people like had been a part of. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. Just Tim Burton's Coraline. Yeah, so
Right.
it's a pretty, oh man, there were so many people that were a part of it, which was so cool. Sean Levy was also a part of it. Stranger Things. So
Right.
yeah. I
Amazing.
know.
So many
I
great
know. Oh,
names.
I was so blessed. I really was so blessed about to be a part of this one. Devil in Ohio was like a totally other feel, but my gosh, that was pretty magical too because I had read the book when I knew that Netflix was going to be like producing this. I read the book and I just fell in love with it, and I just decided. I said to myself, I was going to manifest this, that I wanted to work on this. And I had 2 auditions before the third one, and I booked the third one, and it was like a blast. I got to be a desk cop. I
Amazing.
got to wear a gun, and I had all this stuff, and I didn't get killed off. So I am working hard to promote my character in a season 2, if there shall be a season 2. I hope so.
Hopefully there is.
It,
Hopefully it is. It was
and it
amazing. It was
ended
amazing.
like you have to read the book. Like it's a different feel.
Right. When they end shows, but what gets me is when they end the show and it's like they end it like where it's like they're showing there is going to be
Oh,
another season, and you're just waiting and waiting and
totally,
waiting. So yeah,
totally.
definitely.
And at the end of that, I'm just like, oh, like there's no reason that Sergeant Newton can come back and she could be at the front desk still, but I think maybe she could be promoted and I could be like a detective or something.
Right. Yeah, you never know.
I often, if something comes up where they're promoting the show or they've got something, I'm always teasing, and I'm always, I'll send a message to Daria and just be like, well, don't forget, I'm still around. She probably thinks I'm a nut, but
That's true.
she's lovely. She's like absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment as an actress
Oh
so far?
man, being a part of the Netflix family for sure. Um, Amazing. It's an amazing like streamer to be a part of. They really, from the beginning, from when you go to set and things are set up. Like we did this through COVID, so the protocols were set up, and everything was just seamless. Like it was a dream. Yeah.
Netflix is amazing. You go on Netflix, you can watch any movie, any horror movie, any action movie, anything from I don't know how many
Oh,
shows, how many that and
pretty crazy. It's pretty
it's
crazy.
amazing.
I love it. I'm just like, yay, Netflix. But I did in this last year have some amazing kicks at the can of auditions at some like fabulous shows. There's a few coming up that I think are going to be epic. Epic. Well,
You
I
can't
can
talk about
probably
it yet.
mention the shows that are coming, but I'm not. I auditioned for them, but I didn't book the role. But I can say that Rise of the Pink Ladies is going to be phenomenal. So that's not over yet. We'll see what happens there. But it's
I can't
oh,
wait to see
very
you in the
very
next
cool.
films.
There's a lot of really cool stuff. Yeah.
It's amazing. That's amazing. So, we'll have to talk more about that when if you get the role. If you get the role, what other roles would you like to see your character interact with on set?
Oh, so okay, like do I the type of character that I would like to be, or
Yes, that's
oh,
the
okay.
question. I'm rephrasing that.
I still, oh my gosh, I have so many shows that I do watch. Well, who doesn't watch a lot of shows, right? Am I right? Like, it's just, I find it very difficult not to. I say I'm watching all these shows for inspiration and for, study purposes, but I would love to do a role like on like Beth on Yellowstone, or um, just the really, really tough one.
By the way, Yellowstone
I
is
love it.
amazing.
I love it.
Oh my goodness, that show is just I could just talk
it's
forever about
so
it. So
I
many great
know
actors are on there. Tom Hanks, right? Tom Hanks
it's
and
very not Tom Hanks. Oh,
was that
not Tom Hanks. Uh,
not Tom Hanks?
Dancing
Tom
with
Cruise.
Wolves.
It was yes. Okay, sorry, but it's
It's
just
beautifully shot. It's
amazing.
just the character depth, like the what each character brings to their role, small or large. Like, you just really feel like you're
Hmm.
dropped in to Montana, which is very cool.
Right.
Another show,
Oh, I'm sorry. Tom Hanks
yes,
was in the 18
that's
18.
another really good one
That's
too.
another great
Yeah.
show.
I love uh, British crime shows. So
Oh,
Acorn
BBC.
TV, I'm
That's
telling you,
amazing.
Line of Duty, Bodyguard. I was a huge fan of Peaky Blinders. I would love to have been on Peaky Blinders. I mean, I have an Irish and a Scottish
Totally.
background. I could work that out. But amazing, amazing.
It's amazing. I totally agree with you. Unbelievable. Um,
Hmm.
Now I know you played this role, possibly, but there is a scene where your character is supposed to be sad, but you're feeling happy. How do
Oh,
you overcome that?
I again being, as everyone always said, sometimes you're just too sensitive. I find like I have a lot of memories that I can draw on, that I can just drop into it. Like, I have not a problem. I could hear a piece of music and it would just transport me right to that moment. So um yeah, it's funny. It's just, you know, it, it's like a switch. It's like a little switch. Yeah.
That's true. And I know some people have a hard time. Some people say they have to
Hmm.
think of a sad moment in their life or just think of
Yeah.
a sad movie and they
Yeah.
start tearing.
Yeah.
That's how they can switch that
Oh,
up.
yeah.
For me, I have
Yeah.
to do
Oh,
that if they're going to
definitely.
tell
I
me.
mean, all of that is just, I will draw on it all. But yeah, maybe I'm just always sad inside. I don't know.
That's
I won't, no.
totally, I don't know. So, what's your favorite memory on set
Oh
so far?
man. Oh, I had a wonderful experience when I did Devil in Ohio in the green room and met Sam Jaeger, who is in Handmaid's Tale, and also Gerardo Calasco. He was my. They were both my scene partners. They both came and we interacted,
Hmm.
and it was so lovely. Sam, we had questions for him. Of course, we were trying to dig and find out what we could get from him about what was happening in Handmaid's Tale for the next season, and but we started talking about process, and we started talking about, you know, different things on, um, how you memorize, how, how it's huge swaths of dialogue and, different things. And he was just so forthcoming and just so kind of chill. It was just really nice. It was really a lovely moment. There was a couple of us sitting around and just, it was sort of he was very encouraging to us, knowing, yeah, well, we're kind of new to the biz, or, there was one of the young girls, young, she was like 10, and she was phenomenal. And it was really nice to have that give and take without, there were no errors, everybody was just sort of together. And that was pretty special, I'd say.
That sounds really special.
Yeah.
I wish I was there to see that moment. Do you have any funny or interesting stories
Okay.
behind the set or
I
behind the
do have one
scenes?
funny story. Um, for Devil in Ohio, um, I had gone for my wardrobe fitting, and they had put me in sort of a navy polo shirt and, with the police department on it and everything. And when I got to set, and I guess when the producers and executive producers were looking at on the screens and sort of viewing what the setup looked like, everybody else had a uniform on except for me. And I think they just thought, well, you look like, what are you, like the cleaning lady or something? So they decided, no, let's get her into a uniform. I had to go into a dark corner somewhere, and they handed me things. And of course, at that point, there really probably wasn't a lot of sizing and different things available. So, I think I had a men's shirt. I was able to keep my pants, but I had the men's shirt, and then they wanted me to have the belt, even though you didn't really see it. But I had the belt, and then I had to have the weapon. But the belt was probably an extra small. So I got this belt on, and I thought I looked pretty cool. Handed the weapon, go to sit down, and I'm perched on this little stool. You're not quite sitting at the desk. They have to have you up a little higher. And I'm a surly desk sergeant. This is my world. I'm running this show, right? And so, you know, my first scene, everything's great. Second scene, Gerard is the detective, and he comes in and he's like, really, is the captain in, and he's like, "Meh." And we filmed a couple of different takes, and by probably the fourth take, I think my air was being constricted. So when I was saying my lines, I was saying them slowly but surely. They were going up higher and higher in my register. So at one point, I had to say, "Oh, Beecham sweating Peter Mathis in the whatever the room, they're in room 2 or something, or whatever. Oh no, Beecham sweating Peter Mathis on the Windermere file or whatever." And it came out. It was like, "Bitch, I'm sweating," and it's like super high. And I'm thinking, and Gerardo didn't skip a beat. He kept going. And then the director came over and he's like, "It's really good, but can we drop it down to your lower register again?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." I was so embarrassed, but it's like it came out. I sounded like Mickey Mouse. I mean, seriously.
Did they ever figure out it
No,
was because of the
no.
belt?
And I didn't tell them either. Well, they probably, if they ever see this, they'll know. But I mean, I just, yeah. I kind of went, where's that coming from? But man, that belt was tight. And then I ended up being there in other scenes. I was supposed to only be in 2 scenes, but they kept me there, and I had to wear that belt for probably about 16 hours. So it was torture.
Torture.
I'm like, okay, it's like a corset.
It makes you worse if you have to
You
eat
can't
something.
really sit well, and also the belt has so many things on it that you can't really sit back. You're kind of like, well, that was epic. That was epic. Just
That is crazy. Do you have any hidden talents that nobody knows about you yet?
hidden talents. Well, I think people know that I design jewelry because I've done, people know. Um, I do like to sing. I don't think I have that on my resume. The other thing is I used to play basketball a lot, and so I enjoy that. Yeah, that's about it. I think I can't really think anything else. Just yeah, those things.
Wow. And without giving anything away, what's your favorite dialogue line?
Oh, okay. Well, I'd have to say it would be from Lost Dolly. Definitely when little Billy's looking at me and he's petrified, and I look at him and I said, oh, you don't have to be afraid. This ain't nothing but a big old shit. I got this. Yeah, the line. I'm not saying it exactly how it's supposed to be, but it's like
okay.
It was such a sweet moment. Like I wasn't really nice at first, and then I kind of softened it a little bit. Yeah. Probably the other one would be sweating Peter Mathis on the Windermere Fraud. All of a sudden I'm in Brooklyn. I don't know. Whatever.
So, you've been originally raised and born in California?
I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Where is that?
Above Fargo, North Dakota. So, where Fargo,
really?
North Dakota is.
I've heard of Fargo, but
it's very cold. It can be, and there's lots of mosquitoes. So Winnipeg is kind of just a little bit above that. So we have a very similar accent to Fargo. I tend to get a lot of auditions for Midwest, which seems to be quite fabulous for me.
And I heard that North Dakota is a great place to see the
probably
Northern
the
Lights.
better place to see the Northern Lights would be in Alberta. Alberta, yeah. Like just Edmonton, the city of Edmonton, and just go to the outskirts of the city, and you can see the Northern Lights.
And I heard I've never been to Montana, but I heard Montana is very pretty and very beautiful. But
it's beautiful. That again, Montana is really just kind of below Alberta. I'm trying to think of my geography. Sorry.
And I heard people that live up. I mean, yes, it's really cold, but I know people that live up there. They're if you ever see the Northern Lights once in a lifetime, it's worth it. You can never pay me to live up there that far.
I know. It's probably not easy. Very cold.
Too cold.
I have to say, we have very similar temperatures because we're close to Seattle. So lots of rain, but then we did just get quite a dump of snow and some cold temps that we weren't used to. Nowhere near.
Right. So, but you're currently in
No,
California,
I'm
if
in
you mind me asking.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
you're in
no, that's okay. My
Vancouver. I'm
husband is
sorry,
from
Vancouver.
California.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
in
So you're in
Canada.
Vancouver,
Yes.
Canada. I want to say
Well, there is
Vancouver,
a
California.
Vancouver,
I don't know why.
Washington. Some people have gotten confused,
Right.
but
Right. So do you go down to you fly
I
down to
do.
LA a lot
Well,
for
no,
pros or
because everything magically through COVID is self-tape, so I'm able to self-tape. And then if you maybe get a call back, you can do like a live callback. But mostly it's
hmm
sometimes things are just booked on by self-tape, so you don't really have to travel. I just did
right.
a fun audition for a new show, Jamie Foxx's new show that's coming out. It's filmed in Montreal, called Alert. So that's like a pretty. I think that'll be a really cool. It's a like a missing persons police drama. Yeah, yeah, it
Wow,
looks
I
pretty
can't wait
cool.
to see that. Can't wait for that to come out as well. So do you like Zoom audition, online audition, or do you like being in
Oh,
person now?
it's
Do you
I
like to be
used
in
to
person?
really everybody would feel nervous going to in person, but then you'd also be able to connect with the casting directors. You get redirected. I kind of miss that, but I'm enjoying the self taping. I'm enjoying the challenge of trying to get your eye lines, and connect and just bring something so that you actually are pulled through the
hmm
lens and they see something maybe that they're interested in. But I for commercials still it would be self-tape first, and then you usually go in for an in-person callback, so you then get to feel that again. But I think it's just been more, casting directors and producers get to see way more people, so it's open doors for sure. It's a lot more work for people because, you have to edit and
Right,
send things off, and people
right,
might have only been seeing 20 people for a role, 50 people, and now it's maybe 100 people. So, yeah.
right. And I know people we're so used to going in person, but now they like
Yeah.
to do Zoom, but they also like to
Hmm.
do in person as well. So I think a lot of people now are like
Yes,
so used to Zoom, and then they're also still used to doing in
definitely.
person as well. So I was just curious if you like in person or do you like Zoom? But I heard
I I like
people like
both.
both, so
I do
whatever works
like
the
both.
best.
For a couple of roles, the callbacks were callbacks on Zoom, so you still get to,
hmm
see the director or the casting person and interact with them. But
hmm
there's just something a little different when you're actually physically in the room and you feel the energy. So it just
Right.
makes us work that much harder to get that across on tape. Um,
And the one thing about Zoom is I notice is that you don't have to worry
True.
about flying. Right. So you can just do it there. In person, I understand it's like, gotta go to the airport, gotta go fly, then you have to come back and go home and rest. And if you get the role or you have to go back for
Yes.
audition, you have
Yeah.
to fly back. So I think Zoom became so popular where
Yes.
people can just
Exactly.
talk
Yeah.
on
Oh
there and just
gosh. Yeah.
do it.
It's really changed things a lot. In the very beginning,
Yes.
yes,
Because the
yes. Oh,
pandemic,
totally, totally. It was just it's
which is sad, but the pandemic has changed entertainment.
definitely,
Everything's changed.
definitely. Yeah. It's cool.
Just,
We're
I mean,
we're
it's crazy how the,
adaptable. Actors
the
adapt.
yeah, it's crazy how the world went from the
Yeah.
pandemic and we're like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Until now
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah.
relax and
Definitely.
calm. So what is your advice for someone who wants to get
Oh,
into
well,
acting?
first of all, I think follow your dreams. That would be my first thing. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something. You got to try. You got to try. And then just take some classes. I was blessed to have taken from some really good coaches, and I still coach with some of my auditions that I have, just because I think it's you learn. You're always learning, especially when you're doing it in this little space, because it's tricky. It's tricky. You have to. What if you have 5 people in your scene? You have to be able to place those eye
Right.
lines so that they're believable. And so yeah, that I would just say, just learn, read whatever you can. Read. There's so many books out there. Just Google acting books, and there's Larry Moss has a book that's just phenomenal. There really, that's you just have to be a sponge, and you can learn from, even if you take an acting class, you can learn from other people working on their work in class as well too. And just keep going. Don't stop.
Yep, because you keep pushing yourself, keep fighting, because you never know where you're going to see yourself
Yes.
in 5 years or two
You don't
years or
know.
3 years,
Yeah,
or
you don't know.
you
And I
never
mean,
know.
I kind of waited a long time, but I didn't know. I didn't know. And I think I started at the right time for me. I don't think I would have been.
Right. That's true. You never
Yeah,
know
I
that.
don't
You
think I would have
never
been
know.
ready in my 20s or my 30s or my 30s. Like I don't think, I think when I began this journey, this was when it was supposed to happen for me. And I like to say
Right.
that, oh, I saw this, and it was a movie. Ed Norton said something. He was making reference to theater and to doing plays. And I just feel like I've been acting all my life, not in a disingenuous way, but because I didn't really know what my truth was. And so I felt
Hmm.
like I had to like adapt to my situations, because I didn't really know who I was. And then discovering who I
Right.
was, who I truly was, from my biological father, and the gifts that he gave me, then I was able to really settle into this, and realize that, man, this is what I should be doing. And I'll do this, yay,
Hmm.
Christopher Plummer. I will do this for as long as he did it. I have no plans on stopping.
That's true.
So
Yep. Don't stop.
keep the
Keep
dream.
going. Keep that dream. 100%. Well, thank
Aw,
you for coming on my show. And
I
I
know.
can't
I'm
wait to
just,
have you
thank you for
back.
asking me. That was very special. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And please come
I
back on my
promise.
show. And I can't
No,
wait
I'll have more funny
to have you
stories for
back.
you. You know I will.
Yes. I definitely can't wait to have you back on my show. It's been, you have a positive energy. I love your energy.
Aw,
It's
thank you.
amazing. And um, of course, thank you for
Yes.
following me on Instagram. And
Yeah,
we've been
I
staying
love it.
connected. And so I was like, let me reach out to you. And here
It's
you are.
magical, and
So
I love
thank
what you're
you.
doing, and just keep doing what you're doing, because everybody,
Well, thank you.
you can
I
learn so much, and I think everybody's stories are so special. So thank you for doing what you do.
Well, it means a lot. I appreciate it, because all the actors and actresses and producers and
Mhm.
directors that have been on my show been telling their
Yes.
stories and their background of why they wanted to make,
Mhm.
why they wanted to get an entertainment industry. Like, you have a lot of young actors and
Yeah.
actors that's been on my shows, and directors and producers, any age. It goes from any age. They all telling me that their
Mhm.
dream was to make films about this, make films
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
immigration, make films about this, make films with that. And it's so powerful, because people like who or our fans or who are watching
Yes.
us on screen or on Netflix or on TV or on Instagram, we're
Yes.
telling our stories. And yet people are like, wow, this is what's happening to me in real
Exactly.
life, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, it's, for example, it's like you when when you did your scene with the MRI, you don't know, and people are like, wow, this is what I'm experiencing in real life with
Exactly.
my family, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you move
Mm-hmm.
people, you bring them tears, and it's just, and that's what we tell stories about. If none of us are in the entertainment industry, then how do we tell real stories? How real people's stories, right? And it's just, that's where it
Mm-hmm.
comes from, right? You look at Tom Hanks, who made the Apollo
Yes.
13 film, who, it's like, what? And you look at
Oh,
James, I can't think of his name, who
Cameron,
made the
you're right.
Titanic film with Leonardo, but it just, that's how we tell stories from the past. Their loved ones and want us
Mm-hmm.
to make films about Titanic, and you have loved ones who are family members from generations from Apollo 13 that
Definitely.
they want us to make
Mm-hmm.
films like this to show, this is what's happened, and it's just an amazing journey, and it's
Oh,
just how
it's
we
it's
do
it's
this.
truly magical.
So,
I'll leave you with one thing. On Christmas Eve, I was trying to think, well, what, oh, not Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. I wanted to watch a movie that would just sort of take me into the new year, full of hope and full of uh, like energy. So I ended up watching, and I'm like late to the party, but I ended up watching Woman King. Oh, oh my gosh,
mhm.
with Viola.
Wow. Okay, that movie
It
was
was so
amazing.
empowering, and just, you know, just just the fierceness of the characters and the stature and the power. I'm like, okay, this is 2023. Here I come.
It's just It's just, how do you describe it? It's R.I.P.
Yes,
Black
I
Panther.
yes.
It was, that movie has impacted a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people. And but
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda
Yeah.
forever. You know, yeah, and but it's impacted a
It
lot
did.
of people, a lot of kids, and I didn't know this, but he was
Yes.
acting when he was
Yes.
diagnosed.
Yeah. And did another movie. Did
And that
another
is
big
just,
huge movie. Um, with Viola after that. Just magical.
and it just shows you that he was trying to stay
Yes.
in fit and healthy, and it was just
Yeah.
powerful how he was making the film, and and it's just impacting. But it goes
Yeah.
from there, making
Definitely.
memory of the film, and they did a great with the Woman King, with
Mm-hmm.
with a memory of him,
Very.
and it's powerful, and but it goes from there. You look at, which
Yeah.
is, really sad, he passed away. But after when the fans are finding out he passed away, you've never seen so many
Yeah.
people on TV, on the news, and on Instagram, and
Yeah.
stories of their kids
Yes. Yes.
doing Wakanda
It
forever.
was so amazing. They felt seen.
It was,
These kids felt seen. They felt like, hey, that could be me.
they
Yeah.
felt
Oh,
powerful.
yes.
They felt
Yes.
powerful, and that's why,
Mm-hmm.
they were going to do
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther 2, and they're still trying to, but
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
powerful that kids were just staying there dressing up and just saying
Definitely.
Wakanda.
Definitely.
It was powerful, it was teary, and that is what we
Exactly.
are making films
That
about.
was the beauty of Lost Dolly. So family and connection and dealing with things that are difficult. Yeah, it was just it that stories. Really, it's stories.
Stories.
Stories that need to be told and shared.
And what's that TV show that's still going? I can't think of the name
Character.
now.
Is there someone, a character that you?
She was in the movie. She was in the movie Breakthrough.
What's the show about?
The
What's the show about?
actress. The show's about all these characters and different stories, experiencing
Oh,
things.
yeah.
This Is Us. Thank you. My mind went blank. That's another great show, for example, because you look at that show, every family, every situation,
Exactly.
they were going through something.
Mm-hmm.
They made that show great, right? And that is what people are impacting in real life.
That's
And we're
yeah.
telling stories, and our goal is to hope
Yeah.
to change. We
No.
can't force people, but we hope to change people's minds, right? And have them understand the stories, to help them understand what it's like to have kids watch their father be taken away because of immigration, or having family going through LGBTQ communities that they're going through, right? Or to understand what bullying is like, to understand what have films that talk about friends or loved ones they lost in suicide, right? And that is the film we talk about, the mental health films and stories, to share stories so people like who are watching can understand. Is like, wow, you're telling the story that I'm kind of going through about suicide loss or bullies or LGBT or father being separate. And it goes on. And that's and people may not 100% understand until they see the film and they're like, wow.
Exactly.
I'm in.
And there's the connection. They see themselves. Yeah.
And it's like, it's like I said, we're not here to force their stories. People can say, wow, I don't understand this, and they're like, well, it's like when you see the film and you're like, wow, I understand what that family went through. I feel bad. And you apologize and stuff like that. And that's what we're telling stories for. People are like, that's what we're putting their shoes on. That's what we're putting the shoes on.
People can see what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes, to be able to, to feel.
Right.
That's so important.
And unfortunately, this also we tell unfortunate, sad stories about true crimes. Like they made a film about that Elizabeth Smart. They made a film about her, and that's the stories that we as actors, and I'm not an actor, but we as the actor community in our entertainment industry, we tell stories about that. We tell stories how people, and Elizabeth Smart, she's writing books, she's telling her story, but she's thankful that people have made films about that, right? And you make films to show people in the world that, hey, watch out, watch for things, watch out for people, and that's how we make films and show warning signs. And it's just that's what we do. That's what we love.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, I was going to say that, and that's why, writing your stories, writing important. So that's on my list. I have many a story.
Well, that's the truth. We write, make songs, even songs. Well, songs. People who feel sad make films. They make films, but also you listen to music. We didn't have music, then what would we do, right? Exactly. What are we going to do? Music helps us relax and makes us happy. That's what the entertainment industry is about. So I just really can't wait for more projects. I appreciate you coming on my show. I cannot
Well, I
wait to
can't
have
wait to
you
come
back.
back and tell you more.
We'll definitely stay in
Sure.
touch.
Yeah,
Definitely 100%. And can't wait to have you
sounds
back
wonderful.
as soon as
And thank you
possible.
again. Thank you again.
You're very, very
Okay,
welcome. Thank you
you
for
take
coming on the
care and
show.
we'll talk soon.
All right. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye.